Hey you guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't remember, which most of you probably don't, I made a video back in March, I believe, of the Liver King. And the title was quite good considering what we are about to talk about right now. So if you've been paying attention, because it has been out for a little bit, I'm a little bit late, but I kind of wanted to wait for the whole thing to come out, which it has. But if you haven't seen it yet, the Liver King got exposed for using steroids, which the title of my last video was what steroids and raw liver does to a man. So pretty good, right? But in that video, we basically just showed how he lived in his life. Like he showed how he sits there and sleeps on a wooden bed with some mats on top, and makes his kids sleep on a wooden bed with mats on top, which I kind of find hard to believe, and so did everybody else that saw that video. So not only does he sleep on wooden beds, but he also blocks Wi-Fi signals and any other kind of 4G signals, and any kind of a signal he blocks out of his house because it makes you not feel good, apparently. He's afraid of them signals. But the big thing about him is he preaches living like our ancestors did. So that's why he lives on a wooden bed. That's why he doesn't want any signals in his house. And that's also why he takes steroids. Because our ancestors took steroids. Now, jokes aside, obviously there's nothing wrong with people taking steroids. If you want to do that, you do you. I don't care, and I don't think a lot of people care. But the main problem comes is when you lie about taking steroids, because it's the same thing with plastic surgery. You sit there and lie about how you are all natural when you have had massive amounts of work done. It can be damaging to anybody that wants to look like you when you lie about it. I mean, calling him natural is like calling Kim Kardashian natural or any of the Kardashians natural. They're just not. It's kind of hard to say that they are. But not only is he lying about being natural and basically making people try to believe that he is natural when he looks like Hulk in real life, but he's also using that to boost his profits for his company, which he sells supplements, which I mean, I'm sure they do something, but his supplements are not going to make you look like him. That's just not possible. And in his response video, which we're going to get into later, he talks about how the social media didn't boost his company whatsoever. He said his company was growing 50% and it still is growing 50% every year, which I find that very hard to believe. And even if it is true, that's kind of sad that your company is growing 50% every year and all of a sudden you get millions of people looking at your videos and stuff and you still only have 50% going up. So I don't think that's true, and if it is, that's kind of sad. And I'm not painting him out to look like this terrible guy. He actually does do some good stuff, and there's a few good things that he says in his response video, but overall I think the response video is pretty terrible. But he does talk about trying to help fix people and make them not depressed, not sad, not miserable with their lives, and that's a good thing, and I'm sure taking some of those traits that our ancestors did could probably help you. But painting it to make it look like you are natural when you're not, just live like our ancestors did, you look like me, that's damaging. And now another response video. A lot of the comments I read were not too thrilled with the response video. I did love watching people get annoyed with the audio because the audio was only coming from the left side of the speaker. Like if you're using headphones like I am, or if you're using like surround sound, it's only coming out the left side, which was quite funny to see people pissed off about that. But besides the terrible audio, that's funny, nothing really harmful, It starts off the video with him right away basically flexing how much money he has, and that was the biggest complaint I saw out of everything I've read about his response video, is people bitching that he was flexing his money, which he definitely was, and he didn't really need to bring that up. I don't know why he did.
Before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous.
And a little bit farther into the video, he talks about how he never expected so much exposure in his life, which the video exposing him basically proves that was a complete lie. He did expect all this exposure, and he was trying to get this exposure. So him saying he never expected so many people to look at him and admire him and do whatever is a complete lie, because in this email it specifically shows him saying that he wants to get to 1 million followers by 2022. And that was in June, I believe. I'll put up the email on the screen, but I believe that was in June of 2021. So a little less than a year, he wanted 1 million subscribers, and he's almost at 2 million subscribers on Instagram. I'm sure on TikTok he's at more. YouTube, I'm not quite sure. And then he does the classic YouTuber big sigh. After the big sigh, he admits it. He admits to taking steroids, which gets rid of everybody's doubts that maybe the emails were fake, because he just straight up admitted that he did take steroids. So there we go, I guess. Talks about how his main goal was he was looking at the raising suicide rates and people just being miserable, which I just talked about earlier. He really wanted to fix that. He really wanted to make people feel good in their bodies. He really wanted to make them just feel good in general. So he wanted to stop suicide rates. And by doing that, he started promoting living like our ancestors did to try and fix that, apparently, is how he says it. I don't really feel like that's true, honestly. But and I also feel like him taking steroids and lying about it contradicts that whole thing. Because in my opinion, if somebody is trying to get to look like him naturally, because he says he's natural, if they're trying to get to look like him naturally and they can't achieve it, they're probably going to get depressed and maybe lead to self-deleting themselves. So I just feel like him lying about it contradicts him saying he's trying to fix suicide. I don't know. He then talks about him convincing himself that he wasn't cheating anybody, that he's not an athlete, so it doesn't really matter. But it does. And I mean, like I said, he talked himself into thinking that way. So I'm sure he doesn't. I don't know. Like I said, he could be lying about a lot of stuff. This is all coming from him. You don't know if it's lying, but he said he talked himself into it. So, I mean, either way, he was cheating a lot of people, no matter how you look at it. If he talked himself into it or whether he didn't believe that, and that's just a lie, he did cheat a lot of people. He cheated all the people that are trying to look like him. He cheated all the people buying his supplements. He cheated basically everybody that was watching his videos. So no matter how you look at it, he was cheating everyone. He wasn't just cheating himself, he was cheating everyone. And a good thing I do think he talks about in this video is he talks about how it's a good idea to have a trained hormone physician when you're taking steroids. He talks about how it messed up something with his body because he wasn't talking to a trained physician, and he said that talking to one helped him out. And he says that it's a good idea to do that if you are taking steroids, which that probably is a good idea. I don't know a whole lot about steroids, but I'm sure it is a good idea to talk to a physician, even though it probably costs a shit ton of money and not the average person could probably do that. So, but also the average person cannot take $10,000 to $15,000 worth of steroids a month. Yeah, you heard me right. $10,000 to $15,000 worth of steroids. Kind of ridiculous. I don't know who the fuck would spend $10,000 to $15,000 on steroids a month. Some people would die to have that money a month to spend on actual shit, not fucking pills or injections. I guess steroids aren't pills; they're injections. I think. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot. So he then talks about him in 2021 not feeling 100%, and I'm not sure if this is exactly what he meant, but this is just how I felt about it. Him talking about how he went and talked to a physician about steroids in 2021. I feel like that is him basically admitting that he only has been taking steroids since 2021. I'm not sure if that's what he means, so I'm not calling him a liar there. I'm saying this is how I think he is saying it, is that he just barely started taking steroids in 2021. But if you go back to the Ancestor Living Instagram account and scroll down to the very bottom, which took a minute because there's quite a few posts, you get to the very bottom, and the first post with him in it is in 2019. And he looks pretty damn close to what he looks like right now. And it is him. Like I'm 90% sure it's him. I don't think it's anybody else. It looks just like him. And I think he's a little smaller than he is right now, but not by much. Now that was 2 years before 2021, which was when I feel like he is saying he started taking steroids. So if he posted that picture in 2019 and he looks like that, that is also a lie, if that is what he means. Which, like I said, I don't know if it is. And the big part that I thought was actually pretty funny is he actually laughs about it too, is he brings up the fact that he has no ab implants or ab etching, which I think is funny because I watched Moist Critical's video just a few days ago about him, and he said he is still convinced that he has ab etching. So the fact that he brought this up in his video, laughing about it, saying he doesn't have ab etching, was pretty funny. He also then brings up the fact that he has self-esteem issues. That is why he is taking steroids, and that's why he is as shredded as he is. He said he was not happy with himself, so he started taking steroids to get bigger, and he basically works himself to death to get to look like that and to be happy with himself because he has self-esteem issues. Which, if that's what helps you, that helps you. He did say it helped him. He said it helped make him happier. So you do you, I guess. I mean, it still doesn't change the fact that you were, in my opinion, using it to raise your company profits and quite frankly lie to a shit ton of people about it. But that was just kind of a rough view of everything that happened. The video I made back in March was getting a decent amount of attention since all this came out, so I figured I'd make kind of a update video on top of that one. If you want more information on the situation, I will leave More Plates, More Dates video in the description. He is the one that broke this whole thing. He has like a hour-long video, I think, maybe a little longer than an hour-long video, basically exposing him, talking about this whole thing. I'll also leave the response video in the description so you can go watch it yourself. Because like I said, just a short little video, not really anything too informative here. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate if you would leave a like and subscribe. And if not, then please tell me why in the comments. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Hella guilt-delicious, looking so delicious. Might still get vicious, guilt-for-guilt-delicious. Can't get malicious, extra flagitious. Don't act suspicious, bitches pernicious, always judicious.